The cul-de-sac of Willow Grove shimmered with suburban perfection. Trimmed hedges, pastel mailboxes, and the hum of lawnmowers on weekends. But beneath the surface, a storm brewed, fueled by one woman's unyielding need for control. Karen Whitaker, the self-appointed queen of the Willow Grove Homeowners Association, ruled with an iron grip. Her clipboard was her scepter, her HOA bylaws her gospel. Every resident complied except one. Marcus Ellison, the quiet newcomer at 47 Willow Lane, refused to join the HOA to Karen. This was not just defiance. It was war. Marcus, a reserved man in his 50s, kept to himself. His modest sedan parked neatly in his driveway, his lawn mowed just enough to avoid complaints. But Karen saw his refusal as a personal affront. "It's about community standards," she'd bellow at meetings, her voice shrill as she waved Marcus's and signed HOA agreement like a battle flag. Whispers spread. "He's trouble. Doesn't belong." Karen's campaign began with letters, then fines, then late-night glares from her porch. Marcus, unfazed, paid the fines and ignored her notes. He had bigger battles to fight ones Karen couldn't imagine. The tension simmered for months, but the spark came on a humid July evening. Karen, fueled by a mix of wine and resentment, rallied her loyalists at the HOA meeting. "If he won't join, he'll feel the consequences," she declared, her eyes gleaming with righteous fury. The room murmured agreement, but no one expected what came next. That night, under the cover of dusk, Karen crept to Marcus's driveway, a gas can in hand. Her heart pounded not with guilt, but with the thrill of reclaiming control. She doused his car, struck a match, and watched the flames roar to life. The fire lit up the street, a beacon of her vengeance. Neighbors spilled from their homes, phones in hand, recording the blaze. Karen stood tall, expecting cheers, but the crowd's gasps carried a different tone: horror, not approval. Marcus emerged from his house, his silhouette framed against the inferno. He didn't shout or run. He simply watched, his calm demeanor unnerving Karen. "You'll join now," she muttered under her breath, but her confidence wavered. Something about Marcus's stillness felt like a storm gathering strength. The twist came the next morning, when news vans swarmed Willow Grove. Marcus Ellison wasn't just a quiet neighbor. He was a civil rights icon, a man who'd marched alongside legends, defended the marginalized in courtrooms, and authored books that shaped policy. His face had been on magazine covers, his name synonymous with justice. Karen, oblivious, had targeted a giant. The headlines screamed, "HOA vigilante torches civil rights hero's car." Social media erupted, branding her HOA Karen, a symbol of petty tyranny. Her smugness crumbled as the world turned against her. But the real shock came from an unexpected voice. Mrs. Delaney, the elderly widow at 49 Willow Lane, known for her quiet knitting and rose garden. She stepped forward at a community meeting, her frail frame trembling with rage. "I saw you, Karen," she said, her voice cutting through the room. "You didn't just burn his car, you burned our trust." Mrs. Delaney revealed she'd been secretly funding Marcus's legal aid work, inspired by his books. Her confession flipped the narrative. Karen's act wasn't just a crime. It was a betrayal of the community she claimed to protect. Karen's world unraveled. The HOA dissolved her presidency. Her husband left, and lawsuits piled up. Marcus, ever composed, rebuilt. He didn't press charges, choosing instead to host a community forum on unity, turning his pain into progress. Karen, shunned and alone, watched from her darkened house as neighbors gathered at Marcus's, their laughter a stark contrast to her isolation. The fire she'd set had burned her own life to ash. In the end, Marcus's car was just metal, replaceable. But Karen's actions exposed a deeper wound: the fragility of community when pride overrides empathy. Her downfall wasn't just punishment. It was a mirror held up to her soul, reflecting a woman who'd lost her way. Marcus, unscathed in spirit, stood taller, his legacy untarnished. The cul-de-sac, once a battlefield, began to heal, but the scars remained. What would you do if you witnessed such an act of misguided justice? Share your thoughts on right, wrong, and the cost of community conflict.